Welcome back to Insights at DDLynn Designs, a unique twist in the ancient art of wire. This is DDLynn, and I was playing around with the wire this morning, and I came up with this idea, and it kind of happened by accident. I was wrapping some half-round wire around some wires, and I was just playing with an idea. And then I didn't like it, so I cut the wire and I pulled it off. And when I pulled it off, I went, wow, this would be great to do with 18 gauge half round and use it to wrap around a gemstone with your other wires and have a really decorative wire. So this isn't hammered. This will be hammered. So I thought I'd share that with you. It just kind of happened. It just came to me. So basically, this was half round wire wrapped over and over again, several wires. And then we could use this with core wires. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's say we're going to be wrapping a cabochon. We would have this wire as one of our core wires, and we would be wrapping or weaving in and out so that when we wrapped it around the stone, we would have a beautiful zigzag half round design element. So let me show you what I did. So I have myself, and it doesn't matter the length, I'm just using this for working length, 6 inches of 18 gauge wire, and I'm going to be using 18 gauge half round. So if you're new to using half round wire and you don't know the history of it, basically all they do is take a piece of 18 gauge wire or any gauge and they cut it in half. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start wrapping this as if I'm wrapping a bale or and let me cut, I'm going to cut myself 12 inches of this half round. If you're wrapping a bell, you're making a ring band, whatever it is that you're doing, okay? So all I'm going to do is just wrap. So that's the basic premise. And got to have my wire going this way. I have to go in certain directions or my brain doesn't work right. So I'm going to start wrapping these 3 16 gauge wires. And that's all you're going to do. Now, 18 gauge wires. Because this is 18 half round, you need to crimp it down or it will bow up. So you need to crimp it down. And then I'm going to show you here in a minute what I came up with, and I'm going to be using it on wrapping a cabochon. And I've done this by hand bending and looping wire around a cabochon, but I've never done it this way, if any of that makes sense. So 18 gauge is much firmer. If you're used to working with 22, I think you'll have more control. You just have to flatten it as you're going around to keep it from bowing. But I think this is a multi-purpose use. I think that once we're done, you see what I'm going to do. You'll see how you can use it in a lot of different ways to frame a stone. And you know what? I'm just going to slide this down so I have more working wire. I'm not flattening it really hard because I'm going to be sliding it off. But because these are round wires, they have a tendency to want to roll on themselves. That's why I've taped the ends. So I'm going to finish up some and I'll be right back, and then I'm going to show you what I discovered this morning. Okay, so I wrapped up and just left a little tail, not for any particular reason. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start spreading these wires out. And I'm holding on this end and I'm spreading them out. It's going to be harder with the 18 gauge half round, because it's going to have more memory in it. Okay, I'm going to slide this up so I have more working room down here. And I'm just holding and pulling just a little bit at a time. I'm going to turn it around and go in the opposite direction. I'm using my fingernail now. And this is why you need some good strong core wires to do this if you're using 18 gauge half round. So I'm going to start pulling down some more. I'm separating them out, and I'm just trying to keep them evenly separated. And you're going to just see how cool this is. That's how a lot of things happen for me. I'm messing around with something, I don't like it, I take it apart and I go, oh wow. And suddenly it comes to me, wow, I think I can do something with that. And it's such a cool experience. It's a really good feel good, you know, because when you first start wire wrapping, your brain is super excited if you love it. And everything is just such a challenge. And then you start getting a very critical eye. And it's just natural. All artists, no matter what the medium is, all end up getting this critical eye and start really critiquing their work. And that's just really part of the evolution as you are evolving and advancing in any art. So I think that's good. Let me see if I can spread them apart a little bit more. Now this is one of the things that I was thinking of this morning as two things came to me. One was pulling this off, which I'm going to do. And then the other, as I was doing this, I thought, wow, that would make such a great cab wrap or a ring band, or you could clip it and make earrings, or if you used 8 wires or 12, or 16 gauge or 14 gauge wire, what an awesome bracelet this would make. So that's what I meant when I first started telling you it's multi-purpose. I saw so many different directions that you could go in with this. And I thought the first thing that came to me was when I pulled the half round wire off was, oh my gosh, instead of having to make a bunch of loops, I can do this all at once. And I think I'm reaching my max stretch here, but we're going to see. So really, it's just amazing, I think, where you can go this. I think this would make an awesome bracelet. I would use 14 gauge wire, which is going to be very difficult to work with if you've never worked with it before. Anneal it, which means torch the wire to soften the copper so that you can work with. And I think it would make an awesome unisex bracelet. And I'm getting ready for a show in November, so I may just do that. Okay, so now before I remove my wires, meaning slide them off, I'm going to very gently just crimp them a little bit. I want to give that wire some good memory. So I'm just going to go over every one. Now, if I was going to make this into a bracelet, I would take a file to this and really, God, there's so many things you can do with this concept. And kind of like diamond file the top of this half round. This one's a little, so let's see. I'm just determined to spread these out just a little bit more. Looking at where the spread is here. Like this one can come down. Okay, so now we're going to take them off. And we're going to simply do that by slowly sliding them up. You can pull, and they're going to come together. You can pull one wire at a time, and I think I'll do that. That's actually a better way to do it, gang. Because I don't want to, I really like the spread on this, and if I start pulling it off really fast, they're going to want to naturally snug up next to each other. So I'm going to start pulling at the longest end, because that's the least amount of resistance. There we go. Now you could leave 2 wires in at this point. God, you guys, I'm seeing so many things. Let me tell you what I'm thinking of. You could leave 2 wires in, and then this could be another idea for a cab wrap where you pinch the top of these. I did a tutorial on this a long time ago, but I actually weaved the wire in. I didn't wrap it. And this would be pinched like a, what do you call that on faceted stones? When you make the little, God, my brain, it just like aggravates me to no end. When you're making the little loop to capture a faceted stone and it goes and it pinches over it, I can't remember the name. I know one of you is going to comment. Thank you. But anyways, I'm seeing so many things I can do with this. It's just blowing my mind. So I'm excited. I'm excited that I've got something new that my brain's coming up with. I don't know where it comes from, but I'm grateful every day. None of us are islands. We are all learning from each other. And so my gratitude goes to all those predating the Phoenicians by 5,000 years. Look how cool this is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stretch it out even more. I'm going to pull from the sides, and then I'm going to work my way down so that I have even pressure. Then I'm going to come from the middle and work my way up. Going to go back this way again. So this is a half round zigzag. Just little increments at a time. So let's see what we have here. So that's 12 inches. Now, if you really wanted to spread it way apart like I did with this 22 gauge, just isn't going to hold up on anything. But you can just keep grabbing the ends then and slowly, equal amount of pressure, keep pulling. If you see that you're further away or too close, then just come in there and pull there a little bit. Now I want to show you what I mean, how I can use this as a decorative element. And I'm going to gently, with my rubber mallet, I'm going to gently tap these down. But this is so cool. I don't know. I know I keep saying that because I was really excited about it, and it was just an accident, and that accident took me on a journey. So now I'm going to get my rubber mallet. I'm not going to smash these. I'm just going to gently, because I need to get wire in between them. I'm just going to gently just make sure that they're tapped down. I'm not using a lot of pressure. This wire's hardened up really good, but it still has a lot of flexibility because it is half round. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. So here's what I mean. So let's say I am going to wrap a cab. Let me grab a cab. I'll grab a little moonstone. If I don't knock my... Ooh, that's dangerous. I just saw this rocking off. I've got all these bead boxes or stone boxes here. So here's a perfect example. And this is one thick stone. Oh my goodness. But this is a moonstone. So what I mean is that, let's say I want this to be the decorative part on top. So as I'm going to start wrapping this stone, I'm going to start weaving, and I'll do a tutorial on that after I've mastered it, because this just all came to me this morning. I will weave this to my core wires. You could do 2 sets of these and make another bracelet. You could run wire through here. Again, to give you that example. Well, that's too bent. Do you see what I'm saying? You can just keep changing and changing. You could fold them in and make darling earrings out of them. You could flatten this even more. And you can do that. This is called, I think it's called a duck bill. So you can do that simply by going down the wire and putting equal pressure on the bends. And I'm doing it very slowly, and I'm being very methodical, and I'm just flattening it out a little bit more. So if you want to see a tutorial on how I'm going to use this wrapping a cab, I need your feedback. So give me some comments, let me know what you think, and I hope that you enjoyed this, everyone. I am super excited to take off on it and just play with a million ideas that are running through my head like a river raging. Anyways, thank you so much. Oh, let me share this with you. I started doing, it's actually, I'm thinking of it as kind of like a crest. And this is the back, this is the front, and this is the smallest cab other than wrapping cabs in other pieces that I've literally wrapped. I wrapped it with 3 wires. And then I just started playing with the wire, and I started adding all these different pieces of wire. And now I started working on the chain. And this is Brazilian amethyst. These are super old, super, super old. These are faceted Brazilian amethyst. These are all amethyst. This is purpurite. So this is going to be a beautiful, as you can see, very ornate, almost got a Victorian feel to it. I kept thinking of the crest in my family bloodline and how this would be something if it was done in gold for royalty. I don't know, that's just what was going through my head, so I thought I'd share that with you. Anyways, thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of this magical, wonderful, ancient art of wire. I wish for all of you all that you wish for yourselves. Give me your feedback. Tell me what you came up with. I'm so excited to hear what you all think and what you've done with it. Feel free to post on my Facebook, which is DDLynn Designs. That's my Facebook, DDLynn Designs Instagram, and DDLynnDesigns.com. I wish for all of you all that you wish for yourselves. Have a magical, wonderful wire art day. Bye for now.